think we're good. Everybody can hear us. We can see everybody. I can see chat. All right. So, welcome to, what are we going to call this? The Founders Interrogation? We're going to learn all the
think of it that way.
dirty, dark secrets that make sellouts and bad kerning possible. So I don't think I've ever actually asked you guys this. Well, first off, let's take a step even further back. How do you guys know each other? It seems like, based on what it seems like, you guys have known each other forever. Am I correct on that, or like were y'all born in the same womb, or like?
No, actually.
I consider Sinister a brother, but no. We met through our job. We were actually both reporting analysts at the same company, and we only met maybe like 6 years
4 years ago?
4 or 5.
Was it 6?
4 or 5.
Something like that. I forget how long I worked there. It sort of takes a toll on the brain.
Yeah, 2020 and 2021 have felt like 10 years each.
Yeah.
So it's messing with my brain, but I think it's been 4, maybe 5.
Okay. Who started working there first?
Alex was there first.
Alex was there
me,
first?
yeah, January 2015.
And then Sean came. What is a reporting analyst?
So we report on data from the back end for a large corporation.
Gotcha. I was thinking like a reporter, like you were.
Oh no, more like we would play with data all day.
Gotcha. Okay. So back end. Let me close this out.
Oh, Sinister, is there? Yeah. There's a password for our game.
For the room, yeah. I named. Let me.
I don't know if
well, I don't know. Do we care about people jumping in? The password is just ASDF. I don't know if anybody's
we'll care if people start jumping in and they're not supposed to.
That's true.
That's all right.
Okay, so y'all.
Yeah, it's actually a funny story.
Hold on. People
so
are saying
Alex...
the stream is very quiet. Hold on 1 second.
Oh,
what did I?
Yeah. Let James know if I'm too quiet. Sean's too quiet.
I can turn up the desktop audio. Like, do a test real quick. See how that sounds.
Test.
Probably too loud.
Test.
Let's put it right.
Hello, it's me, Sean.
All right.
Hey, that's not true.
I think we're in the yellow. That's perfect. That's right where we want to be. Is that better, Dragon? Dragonfly? Oh, I like that. I just realized that's what that means. Dragonfly. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't say that out loud either. Just got that too. Saw that username all day.
That's right. So y'all were working at the same place, and just how did y'all connect? Did one of you find out the other was a gamer, or like how did y'all connect?
I think
as far as that goes, we had to work together. And then as we were working together, we just sort of found out we had common interests.
My voice is super quiet.
Yeah, Sean always had a plethora of great gaming paraphernalia on his desk that I would compliment him on.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, look, we can see you guys. We can see you. Share your screen.
Oh, I didn't turn. Should I turn my video on?
Heck yeah, turn on your video.
I was gonna go throw on my Bad Kerning shirt then. It's all right. We're in the Bad Kerning chat on the Bad Kerning channel. I think it's pretty clear we're Bad Kerning.
Has my voice been quiet all day? Have y'all been able to hear me?
I was able to hear you all day.
Huh. I don't know what the problem.
You were just a little bit on the quiet side, but it wasn't like super quiet. It was reasonable.
Okay. I can turn this up a little bit. There is Sean. There he is. Let's see here. How do I make it so that... there we go. Perfect. See you both now. What shirt are you wearing?
Oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Heck yeah.
Wizards of the Coast did a Pride Month event.
There you go.
So picked up one of these sweet t-shirts.
Oh, nice.
Earlier was better. I haven't... All I did was turn me up. I don't know how I could...
It might be. Were you in a different? Well, now is it Discord audio that's?
No, it shouldn't have changed anything. I can turn me all the way up, but okay.
Also, don't mind me eating some ice cream that I
No
bought.
worries.
How dare.
I hope that's working because I don't know what else to do. As I haven't done anything but turn me up, not down. Maybe I'm just not speaking close to the microphone enough.
Speak directly into the
Oh,
microphone.
now I'm gonna turn you down. I will not go to prom with you, Atari Living Sacrifice.
Okay, so y'all. Ooh, that looks delicious. I want one. It's a
Cheers.
pint. It's
It
a
is.
pint.
It's my Dungeon Master's pint.
So y'all work together. You saw the stuff on his desk, and you're like, "Hey, you're a gamer. I'm a gamer. Oh, let's game together," and started hanging out. And how did y'all decide to make a game? Like, how did that come to be?
Well, so let me preface this by saying I don't want to trash the other game that I'm going to mention. But Alex incorporated me into one of his friend groups, and I was still very early in the getting to know you phase with them, and we decided to play.
You.
We decided to play. I don't remember what it's called, but
It's an online site. It's pretend you're Zizzy, and it's got like XYZZY. It's spelled kind of funky, but it's like
Yeah.
online Cards Against
Humanity.
Okay.
Right? So the actual inspiration came from that because Alex and that group were friends for a long time, so they had all these inside jokes and everything.
Right.
And so as I was playing, I'd play a card that I thought was really funny, and nobody would laugh every single time. And
Yeah.
I was just so frustrated. Like, if I was allowed to read the card to you, then you would understand why I thought it was really funny.
Right.
And so,
The pitching
so I
game
thought-
was born.
yeah, so I thought Cards Against Humanity, but you have to sell what your card is. Convince the judge rather than just have them read it wrong.
Right.
So that was the original inspiration. And then obviously we came up, I brought this idea to Alex just off the cuff during lunch break, and we started working on the prototype. And it went through a lot of iterations to get to where it's at now, but...
Yeah, there were some much dirtier cards that I did not make the cut.
Kinda
and a
like-
lot of other cards that we were like, no, this is too obscure. That's going in the anime expansion. We had a lot of stuff like that. And it wasn't always called sellouts either.
Really?
It went through a couple name iterations. One of which was my wife's favorite, which was sales bitch.
It's like science, bitch.
Yeah, because we like a spin-off of sales pitch as sales bitch, but yeah, we decided, well, maybe we'll make it a little more family friendly.
So, Cards Against Humanity, I think a lot of because that's a fairly famous game. I've played it. Most people, even non-gamers that I know, have played that game. There is a lot of the draw of that, or it's kind of like shock factor, I guess. It's a shock factor game. That's what makes
those trump cards.
Yeah, and it can be family friendly, but usually isn't. Like 99% of the time, it's not. Whereas sellouts, it can be as dirty or family friendly as the person pitching.
Yeah,
which you're pitching to your audience. Okay.
Yeah, so just as an example to highlight what you're referring to, so like there's a card in the game where it just says Predator, and by the rules you're allowed to expand or shrink the definition of the card as you see fit. What is that noise?
He's vibrating.
Oh, sorry. I'm hooking up my nice microphone.
Oh, okay. So predator could mean a lot of different things. You could use a specific example of a predator, like a lion, or you could expand on it and say it's a predator drone.
Right.
Or it could be a sexual predator if that was what you wanted to pitch.
Right.
Like, all of this, I mean, granted, you have to sort of gauge where you're at with your audience. You wouldn't want to pitch that to a 13-year-old
Yeah,
necessarily.
we've played rounds at Gen Con with kids that were like 10.
Yeah. And so now I think that probably the worst card for children is the Can of Whoop Ass, which is unopened.
Right.
Um,
Unopened.
Just because-
Untampered seal.
right. Just because of the word ass.
Uh-huh.
So, but we went through and cleaned a lot of it up, but we still have a lot of cards that can be interpreted, in the adult way,
Yeah.
Right.
because we wanted to maintain that a little bit.
But what I do like about it is, like, we've talked about this, we could make a corporate edition for corporate type sales people. Like, we could make an even cleaner version, which is something we've talked about, and I'm just
Yeah,
realizing
absolutely.
well,
We can go both ways.
yeah, we could have the dirty edition. We could have the
Yeah,
clean
we
edition.
have some After Dark cards set aside already, so
Absolutely.
it would not be difficult.
What were some of the other names that y'all came up with before Sellouts was settled on? Do you remember?
It's been a long time. Sellouts and Sales Bitch are the two that really stuck out.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the game only officially came out early last year, officially
Right.
like the main set, but we've been playing with Sellouts as an IP since like 2016. So it's been a long time. I don't even remember any of the other names. Those were just the ones that stood out to me.
Gotcha. Well, I think it's a fantastic name. I think it's a fantastic one to settle on.
I think Sean came up with it, if I recall correctly.
I think the inspiration came from your wife, Alan. Yeah.
Oh, was it?
I think she said something that led me to it. I can't remember offhand, but
I think you're right.
Well,
that does ring a bell.
I do like how the name it really makes it like you have to, in order to sell the crap that you're trying to sell, because usually 9 times out of 10 the thing that you're pitching is not going to solve the problem, but you have to sell them that it's going to solve the problem in one way or another. But I wanted to go back to something you said earlier about Cards Against Humanity, and it really is dependent on that person's sense of humor, which you are like, you have these cards to choose from, and you're trying to you turn them in, and if that person doesn't read it like you said, like if they don't read it the same way you read it, like if you put the emphasis on the other syllable, it changes the whole thing,
yeah, absolutely.
And there's no like variation on it. Like, it is what it is. So I like when I first played this at MagFest, our whole table, like, we laughed continuously, like, we played this game for a straight hour. And at first it was like there was like 5 or 6 of us just messing, sitting down, and then the more we played, the longer we played, and people were coming in and out of the room and watching us and watching how much fun we were having and like laughing, because you know how every time you go to play a game for the first time, there's always 2 or 3 people that are like, no, I'd rather watch.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 or 3 people that were like, no, I'd rather just watch. So far, every game I've ever played where there's always those 1 or 2 people that, no, I don't really want to play, I'll just watch. So far, every single time, by round 2 or 3, they're like, is it too late for me to get in? Like, they want to join, and that's one of the craziest things. I've never seen that happen in a game before.
Yeah, and to that point, I feel like when we were creating the game, I think we probably assumed that like shyer, quieter people probably wouldn't want to play just because of the nature of the game.
Right.
Like, you have to do a pitch almost all the time. You don't have to, but it's good and it helps the flow. I think only one time have I seen someone not want to pitch a card, or whatever they're playing, and they were just like absurdly shy, and they were just with a group of people they didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I've seen people that I know are shy. They get into their pitches, which
Yeah,
which
it
is
awakens
shocking.
something primal within them.
Yeah.
I've seen that time and time again. It's great to see, especially if it's like someone new that you think is shy, and then they're just going all out in their pitch. It's just cool to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It opens people up. It creates friendships. You get to learn. You get to learn about the other people.
By the way, I just want to say real quick, James, you might want to move your webcam around or something. You are completely blocking Sean's head.
Yeah, I was trying to do that while I wasn't talking. I was trying to multitask.
I was looking at the other screen. I'm like, oh no.
Is there a way to just reorder the cameras, maybe?
Oh, I wonder if you can drag him around. Oh, he's got a different layout.
Yeah, but I don't have the other stuff.
Okay.
Display capture. That'll work for now. That'll work.
Oh yeah,
for now.
I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't think Discord lets you drag the windows around. It might be like a alphabetical thing or something. Not sure.
Fix your stuff, Discord.
Yeah.
Get with it.
Where?
It's 2021.
Chat box.
Figure out your shit.
Honestly.
There we go. There we go. I think this will work.
I have
now.
an unopened can of whoop ass for you.
So y'all have known each other for that long now, and so when you guys first came up with the idea of the game and you started making these, what did you call them? Mock versions or the test versions? Like, what did you just literally write things down on paper? Like, how did you build that?
I'll let Sean mention. Our alpha copy.
Yeah, so our very first what you might call production copy, I guess. Our very first alpha was basically I found these stick-on labels in the office supplies section at my local grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a bunch of regular playing cards, like, ace, king, 2, 3, yada yada yada. And I bought a bunch of those, and all we did was handwrite all of our proposed cards onto the labels and stick them onto the playing cards. And we had 3 different backs, like we do in our release version. But there, what was it? I think products and features just had stars on the back, and then
they're like gold and silver stars.
Okay.
Yeah, and then problems. No, the problems were the stars because they were like points. And then
yeah.
But they were gold and silver. And then the products and features were just red and blue, like bicycle brand cards.
Yeah, we had enormous piles because they were thicker because they had the extra paper on there. So we had these giant mountains of cards we would just put in the middle of the table, and we're like, trust me, these are features. Trust me, these are products.
Gotcha.
But it did the trick at the time, and it got us where we need to go.
That's very ingenious and much smarter than just than trying to take regular paper and build. That's super smart. Super.
I've heard that's not uncommon as a card game strategy. Is using old decks of cards and stuff like that.
There we go.
Fun fact:
gotta be resourceful.
That prototype went with me when I went to RTX in Austin, and I ended up playing that with a bunch of people in a bar in Austin, Texas, and that was really interesting. And everybody had a blast. The fact that our handwriting wasn't very good didn't stop anybody. I think we played through the entire deck at least once.
That's awesome.
It was a good time.
That's awesome. So how did you come up with things to write on the cards? Was it literally just stream of thought? Like you started just writing anything down that you could? How did you decide what to put in and what to take out and all that kind of stuff? Beta copy.
It's beta copy.
Yeah,
wow.
It's I think.
Is that our first printing after?
Yes, this was our first ever printing.
before that, it was just all the cards kept in an old Magic the Gathering box.
There you go.
Because you could buy those. They were like 500 land cards. And it was like the perfect size box for sellout. So we used that for a while.
Yeah.
I think this is a modified one of these that Sean gave me.
Because most people, like, people have ideas all the time. Very few people execute, like, on anything, or even, like, the hardest part of any endeavor is getting started. So one of the things I'm most proud of you guys for is the fact that you just got started. Like, the fact that you just got started is absolutely huge. And you overcame things, but it, just took the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, until we've gotten here. And then we're taking every day, every week we talk about, hey, we're going to take one more step. We're going to roll the dice, see what else we can roll the dice on, just try this and try that. So yeah, I'm super proud of you guys just for taking that first step.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a big step, but we felt we had a solid enough product that we just jumped in with both feet and then sort of figured it out from there.
That's right.
Oh, go ahead. No, you first.
I was just gonna say, neither of us has like a strong business background, so it was like doubly intimidating in that respect.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was kind of scary.
How so?
Well, I mean, first of all, we knew nothing of, like, I don't know, copyright law, or literally publishing or manufacturing anything. It was just all completely foreign to us.
Yeah.
But we just dove in head first. Like, I know Sean took it upon himself to do a lot of reading, and he learned a lot and really got us moving. I was a lot of moral support. Yeah, it was scary, but I'm glad we've gotten this far.
Absolutely. But yeah, I was asking right before you stepped away, like, how did y'all start coming up with what to put on cards? And because it's not so much just thinking of things, it's thinking of things that will actually work together, like mesh together with the other cards. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The original card list that we made was probably like 1,000 cards long.
Really?
And it was not nearly as generic as it was now. It was very specific. Like, we have a card now that's just like I think it just says like a car or a truck. Before, we would have really specific cards. Like, instead of a plane, we'd have this Boeing 747. This would be like an Apache attack helicopter, and this would be a Ford Explorer. And we had like all these really specific things that were really funny. But we decided that, like, we kind of learned along the way that part of what made sellouts fun was how easy it is to interpret the cards how you see fit. And if someone who's playing the car card thinks that a Prius is way funnier than a Ford Explorer, we want to give them that option. So we just changed it to a car. Oh, absolutely. Prius, way funnier. Way funnier. They joke about it in The Office and The Other Guys. Great film. Dirty Mike and the Boys. But yeah, the original card list was enormous. I think, like, a lot of it, we just, I don't know, it just like popped out of our heads, and we made sure to write down like pretty much everything we could possibly think of. Whenever we were bored during the workday, we just go and edit the document and add things, and or like whatever we were talking about when we took a lunch break together and just chatted in the lunchroom, we would just branch off of each other's trains of thought.
Gotcha. So you would just, anytime you thought of anything, you would just write it down, and sometimes it would make the cut, sometimes it wouldn't.
Oh yeah, the final card list is probably version 8.93205.
Okay.
Because it went through so many different edits to get to where it is.
How long?
You might not, like, it's hard to tell, but it's gone through a lot of changes.
How long was this process of coming up with all the cards? Like, how long did that step happen before you said, all right, it's ready to ship or ready to print?
Go ahead.
We definitely, I think we were changing cards right up until we were shipping out to print. So from beginning to end, we probably started to come up with cards like within the day or day after I told you about the initial idea, Alex. And then I think we were still editing card lists like right before we exported to start printing.
Okay.
So
like
that whole process
day
was
before.
probably
What is that? A
probably
year?
like
6 months? 2 years?
year and a half probably.
Really?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Wow. A year and
Like,
a
it was-
half.
Yeah, it was never like a strong focus except for like in the few months before we went to print. But yeah,
Because it took several months to build the entire first draft of the list.
Absolutely. What's up,
And then
WTS?
several revisions along the way in the last couple months.
Absolutely. A year and a half. See, that's another thing. Most people would have lost interest before they completed their endeavor. Like most people, they start with something. The first step is the hardest part. The next step is continuing on when it's actually still work, as opposed to, oh, it's not fun anymore. You know, like it's the honeymoon phase is over. Oh, now we actually got to do the work part of like doing the research of the laws and it was fun coming up with the idea, but now we actually got to take it to print and we got to figure out how to raise money and all that kind of stuff. That's hats off to you guys.
And I mean,
nothing against hats. Okay.
But I think that's where, for me, having Alex as a partner helped out, because when I started to lose interest or when I started to run out of ideas, Alex was up there. A lot of our ideas, even when they're bad, we'd put them up and then we'd talk about them, and then that's just how you have to do it. But Alex helped push me forward, and I'd like to think that I helped push Alex forward, and as a partnership, it's sort of inched up like that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Whenever things would stagnate, we'd hold an emergency bad kerning meeting, and one of us would just bring a bottle of whiskey over to the other person's house, and we'd sit down, and we'd write up like itineraries of what we were going to go over and new ideas, and we just knock shit around in our brains for 3 hours.
There you go. Well, that brings me to another question. Bad kerning. Where did that name come from?
That's all, Sean. That was pre us meeting.
So bad kerning, I just thought kerning was a funny word, and I thought it was an interesting concept that most people don't think of. Because it's a typography word, right? Unless you know anything about typography, you don't know what bad kerning is, or good kerning.
You don't even know what a kerning is.
Right. And so back when I came up with it, I just wanted to do a YouTube channel. I wanted to make a Let's Play channel. Yeah. WTF knows what it is. So I got together with a couple friends and we started putting out videos, and that didn't really go anywhere, so I lost interest. So since I already had halfway established that, once we started talking about setting up a company, I introduced Alex to the idea, and I don't know if we were hyper sold on that at the beginning, but I think we just ran with it and it stuck.
It was Bad Kerning Productions.
Okay.
Originally, for like the whole envelope of, because at least that's, I think it's still named that on YouTube, our YouTube channel. But one of the first things Sean and I ever did together was film a video for his channel, where we played really terrible games for the Wii. It's still there on YouTube on our channel if you want to check it out. Bad Kerning Productions. We play Billy the Wizard, Rocket Broomstick Racing, and mini desktop racers for the Wii.
So y'all picked the worst games you could find on the Wii?
Yeah, I went to GameStop with $6 in my pocket and bought as many games as I possibly could.
Wait, the Wii was the first Nintendo that had the motion, right? That was the very first one. Oh my god, that was the Wii. I had a LAN center, and we were fired up about the Wii. We went and bought the Wii and bought like every game. There was like 10 games at like the day release, and oh my god, I think one of those games actually worked the way it was supposed to. There was the samurai game. It looked so awesome. It looked like, oh my god, you're going to be able to take the controller and actually duel it can't. It doesn't recognize. It was a great idea.
Both pioneering and primitive at the same time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's see here. What else? How did we meet? Like here's what I think is crazy. The way I found you guys is I think Sean was playing the same. He was streaming the same game I was streaming, and I just like he was like one of 3 people that was playing the same game, and I just raided him or something like that. I think. Do you remember, Sean?
Yeah, I want to say it might have been Monster Hunter, maybe.
I don't remember.
But I remember you popped into my stream one day and you followed me. And then a couple days later you popped in again and I mentioned my game and you said, "Are you going to MagFest?" And I said, "That's a weird thing to ask, but yes."
Creepy.
I think he was like, we were the way I remember it is I was like, "You have this game. Oh, have you heard of MagFest? Are you guys going to MagFest?" And you were like, "Well, we were talking about it, but we hadn't really decided if we should or not." And I was like, "You should go. I want to play your game." And you're like, "Well, that's like, I'll talk to Alex because I'm sold," or something like that. And then Alex, the crazy thing is, because you didn't go to MagFest, right? You were not there.
No, I was there.
You were there.
Yeah, I was going even before we started going as a company.
Gotcha. So,
we kept
Alex
not running into each
enjoying
other.
the con.
Yeah, we kept not running into each other though.
Yeah.
Sean would always I'd be busy with something or like a panel or I don't know, off doing something with some other friends, and Sean would be like, "I'm off to meet James." And I'm like, "Okay, whoever James."
Right. That's the crazy thing, dude. So we go. We're at MagFest, and Sean's like, "Yeah, I think the next stream I caught him on, he was like, 'Yeah, we decided we're gonna go to MagFest.'" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And he's like, "I'm actually gonna get a booth at MagFest." I'm like, "Heck yeah, dude!" Because I love it when people like actually take steps towards business and ideas and dreams and all that kind of stuff. And I'm doing everything I can to encourage him. And he's like, "Yeah, we're definitely gonna be there. And I'm getting a booth." So we show up at MagFest, and somehow, like, because it's weird on Twitch, it's kind of weird. I was like, "Hey, I'm going to MagFest. Here's my phone number, stranger. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address, and all that." And then he gave me his phone number.
Showed up at my booth.
And then I was like, "Hey, bro, where's your booth?" So, Alex, I show up to your guys' booth. This is what blows my mind. This is what absolutely blows my mind. I show up to your guys' booth, and Sean was like, "Here." He gave me this box of sellouts, and I'm like, "This is awesome. Like, this is crazy." He's like, "Yeah, it's the only copy that we have in existence." And I'm like, "No shit." He's handing me the old, like, complete and total stranger, never met me before. He hands me this copy, and I'm like, "Can we take this back to our room so we can play it?" And he's like, "Yeah, take it." And I was like, "Holy crap!" Like, to me, that felt like that was pretty awesome.
He put a lot of trust in you that day, James.
He put a lot of trust in me that day, because I could have, because there's a lot of people that, "Oh yeah, I'll bring it right back. And then you never hear from them. I mean,
they're like, "Thanks for the free unique game."
Yeah. Like, how many times as a kid did you let somebody borrow a Nintendo game or a PlayStation game, and you pretty much knew you were never gonna see that thing again?
Oh, let's not talk about that. I have some hard memories.
So I really appreciate you doing that, Sean, because it was awesome. We had a blast in our hotel. So we usually get at MagFest, we try to get the suites and all that kind of stuff, so we have the room to do that kind of stuff.
You gotta go for the suites.
And that made me feel. I was stoked. I really appreciate you putting trust into a random stranger that day, and yeah.
I mean, especially then, because I think that was our first actual, like, printed from a real printing company copy. and it probably cost us like $140 to make that one copy.
Yep. We only had traveling salesman editions at that point to sell at our booth.
Yes.
We had no budget as a company.
He didn't say, here, take this traveling salesman edition to back to the room. He said, here, take the only one of the full game.
That was the one we had brought it. I don't know if it was that specific one or an earlier version, but we were at MagFest the year. It was either the year before or 2 years before. I think it was just the year before. We were at the indie showcase there. For a whole day, we like showcased sellouts in the indie game room.
Oh yeah.
And then it was the next year we decided to get that booth.
Very cool.
But yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I have pictures from that indie showroom that I use as like my professional Gmail photo.
Okay.
Where I'm like taking a picture of a bunch of us at the table playing. Sean's there, Shanae is there. It's a good photos. I like those photos.
Well, I'll tell you this. I haven't actually. The funny thing, Alex and I still haven't met face to face.
Yeah. We meet online. We see each other a lot. We talk to each other a lot, but not in person yet. Hopefully soon.
But I'll tell you this, because from meeting Sean that day, and then I invited him. We had in our suite. We had a party like the next night or two, and I was like, "Hey, come on back, and I'll introduce you to people." And da 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 da. I've been super impressed watching Sean grow as a person, like into himself. Like he's way more open, way more just himself, not as reserved as he used to be. I'm super impressed on how far he's come along. Because I know I've teased it before, like that first video where he's like, "This is sellouts. I'm going to sell you." He was like the worst salesman.
Okay to say. But yeah, Sean, like when we met, you were very quiet. And I understand we're introverted people. I totally get it.
100%.
But it is, yeah, I agree with James. It's been nice to work with you and see how much you've changed over the years.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm always quiet when I'm first getting to know somebody. For whatever reason, talking feels extremely personal, and I'm not. I usually don't expose myself personally like that to people that I don't know. But once I get to know somebody, I warm up to them quite a bit.
And you've grown a lot. I mean, in bad Kerning, like company terms as well. Back when we were originally starting, we were absolutely terrified of what copyright law was. And now we've come so far, and we're like, can we do this? We could probably do this. And then you like quick do some Googling, we're like, yeah, we can do this. And then 3 hours go by and you're like, I did it. like you're much more proactive now than you used to be.
Well, and that's
that comes with experience, I suppose, but still.
So part of our company history, we were working with a guy that Alex knew for a long time. I assume you guys are still friends.
Yeah, we're still it's amicable.
Yeah, okay. He's a nice guy. We had a bit of a falling out because of some issues, but we had a guy who was going to help us with getting the game printed and shipped to us. And he ended up having a bunch of personal issues, so that he couldn't work on the project, but he wasn't getting back to us about anything. So for a long time, our game was just kind of in limbo as we were trying to get updates about it. And then finally I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna find a printer, I'm gonna figure out how to ship it to us.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna be done with that segment. And
that was a big driving force, was how frustrated we were.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're like we felt like Thanos at the end of the one Avengers movie. Where he's like, fine, gets up out of the chair. I'll do it myself.
That's pretty much how it went too. Like because at that point we were like a year behind schedule on fulfilling the traveling salesman, right? It was probably 8 months.
Yeah.
And,
from your fulfilled Kickstarter?
From our the traveling salesman Kickstarter, our first successful Kickstarter.
Yeah, that was our second one at that point.
Wow.
Yeah, it was our second campaign. But so
people had pledged, and you were supposed to ship, let's say January 1st, 6 months later, still not shipped. The following January, still not shipped, and you're like, well, screw it, I'll just figure it out myself.
I don't think it was that long.
I don't think it was a full year. It might have been a full year to when we finally shipped.
Yeah, it was much longer than we were comfortable with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But we essentially got majorly ghosted, and he was our contact for pretty much everything.
Oh man.
I still didn't get my one beta copy back from China. Someone in China has a Sellouts beta copy, and they're not talking.
They're creating their own Chinese version, and they're never
keep
gonna.
an eye out for bootleg sellouts.
Look out for Chinese sales bitch coming this September.
That's awesome.
At every corner bodega.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so when I first started doing that, like because of my discussions with him, I couldn't wrap my head around like dealing with manufacturers and shipping, because it just seemed like such a massive task. And then I just decided to dive into it. So I found some good reliable suppliers based on their ratings, and I was working out like logistics for it all, but then they just shipped it UPS.
and in our defense, my friend that we decided to quickly go with did like attend some conventions with us, and we had discussions about this, and like shipping and dealing with overseas shipping and stuff was his career. So it didn't seem like we were putting our trust in a complete stranger that says like, oh yeah, I can get you 100 copies, no problem.
Right.
But it just panned out poorly. But as Sean said, it led to a lot of growth for the both of us.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, anything else? Any stories? Any aha moments? Anything that stands out to you that you're like, hey, before we finish this up, we wanna make sure this story is told, or anything like that?
Well, I have something. It doesn't really pertain to the company necessarily, but while Alex is trying to think of something, I figured I could.
Buy me time, Sean.
Yeah,
please.
So we only really started talking when we were working together, but we found out probably a year and a half after we started hanging out that Alex and we were in the same room in college.
Yes.
Around 2019.
Really?
Yeah. He was
well, 2019 was when we found out.
Or yeah, sorry. 20
But
when was I in college?
It was
2020.
2012.
Yeah. Sorry.
I was like, wait, Sean, how young do you think I am?
We were on the same campus. Alex was giving a presentation for Humans versus Zombies, real life. I don't know what you'd call it. Humans versus Zombies. You could look it up and find out what that is. But
like where you wear where you wear a band around your arm and you're trying to like one of a LARP game or something like that.
I was the HVZ director for the Penn State Urban Gaming Club.
Okay.
The main campus for 5 semesters.
Okay. And he was giving the presentation at the start of the game, and I went to that presentation, and the main thing that really connects the two was he decided to blast CeeLo Green's we'll call it "Forget You" in the classroom that we were in.
That song was popular at the time, in my defense.
Yeah, no, it was a popular song, and it was the explicit version though.
Yes. Oh yeah, we're in college. We don't censor.
That's right.
And so we got to talking about it, and we found out we were actually in the same room on college campus about 6 years before we met.
That is crazy.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. So did y'all live fairly close to each other now, right? Like.
Yeah. He's
two or three cities away.
Okay.
Yeah, like a 20-minute drive or so.
Did y'all both grow up in that same general vicinity?
I did not. I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania, which is like southeast PA. I only moved up to Scranton area like 20. Actually, just before I took that job,
Uh-oh. Did I lose everybody? Did my stream die? Uh-oh. Did I lose the internet? Oh no!
Alex.
Oh.
Yeah, when we lived in proximity at main campus.
Sorry, I lost you guys for a second. I think my internet just conked out for a second.
Oh yeah, I see that the stream is buffering for me now.
But it looks like I'm
Okay.
back.
Might be going now.
Good to go. Well, any closing thoughts for you, Alex?
I did not. In the time that Sean bought me, I thought of nothing. And I just, that's it.
Well, I've got.
Thanks for this nice interview. It's been fun to talk about this. We haven't really talked about this much.
Absolutely, I've been curious
so this
about
is
a lot of
cool.
it.
Really cool to do.
And it's actually cool to actually get to know you, Alex, because as crazy as like we've been working together for, geez, what has it been? It's been at least a year because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's been at least a year, and I've never really gotten a chance to actually get to know you. No, you know.
Hopefully, I'll see you at MagFest 2022.
Hopefully, or maybe even.
Hopefully before that. But
hopefully before that we get to do
at
some more
least
cons and all that kind of stuff. But I've got like 5 people, a couple. I exaggerated a million times there. I got a bunch of people messaging me on Discord right now trying to figure out this game we're about to play together. You know, we have never played this game together. We've never
That's
played
true.
our game together.
All of us together.
Sean and I played once on a stream with some of my buddies who started their own convention, FriendCon, but I think that was like pretty much all we've done as far as like online play with Sean and I.
I have never
like
won a game.
Gameplay.
I have never won a game. The crazy thing, like
No?
I've played this game,
And you never will.
and I never will.
Not if my products have anything to say about it, James.
Well, are y'all able to join us tonight? I think, or do y'all? I know we're about to host a game here in about 10 minutes. If you are able to join, it would be awesome to actually get to be able to play with you guys. Or maybe we might have so many people that we aren't even able to play. That would also be a good problem to have.
I would like to play. I haven't actually played it myself in quite some time. I haven't been at a real party in quite some time. So this will be nice. I'm looking forward to it. And hey, like if you think of anything else while we're playing that you want to ask Sean or I, like shoot, we could chit chat while we're playing.
WT is
pretty
like
much open books.
One of us. Awesome. Well, let me
We're open Wikipedias.
Let me start answering some of these messages, and let's
What's a book?
let's get this game created, and let's do this demo for everybody. I know a bunch of people have been waiting for that. So,
Sure. I'm just gonna top off my drink.
Where should we play the game?
I suppose I should
we
do
stay
the
here
same.
in this
so
chat?
Sean and I are in Tabletop Sim right now.
Awesome. Well, let me join these other
I'm in
Discords.
Sean's room, but it could be a different room if we need to.
All right, I'll be right back, y'all.
Yep, I'm gonna do the same.
Invite me to yours.